Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, today is the lecture number 7 of BSCS second semester communication skills. Today the topic we discuss is that listening, its types and barriers of the listening. Now, what is listening? So listening is a process of recognition of sounds and voices with attentiveness and willingness. When listening is mentioned, we think primarily of the acts of sensing sound. When we communicate with others, we use sounds. These sounds are mainly spoken in words. We want our addresses to listen to them properly so that the process of communication may take place. The process of the listening is commonly known to us, and every one of us directly or indirectly related to this and relevant to this. So just we can say that listening is a complex process and selective process of receiving, focusing, accepting and storing. It is an activity of great importance as it demands high class seriousness. It shows a person's attitudes towards other people. So there are a lot of the types of the communication or the listening, types of the listening. The listening maybe are of some kinds. Number one, pretending listening. Pretending listening mean the listener pretends through his facial expressions that the message is listened to, because if a listener is closely attended while listening the words of the other person's face-to-face impressions and face-to-face meeting, and the words which are listening by the audience is directly listening from the mouth of the speakers. So pretending listening is a intensive kind of the listening. Second one is the selective listening. Selective listening means selecting the desired part and ignoring the undesired part of the message. We often observe that while a person is also addressing in the meeting, someone is also listening very attentively and someone also omitting all words sensibly. It means that they are not interested in a such kind of the listening. Its reasons may be different. He does not want to listen to the words of the person. Maybe he detested the relevant person, and maybe the discussion or the speech which is delivered at the time is not relevant of his mind. So selective listening is an other way of the listening in which a listener listens a relevant and desired part and omit the or ignore the undesired part of the message. So now number 3, attentive listening. It means that paying attention to the words of the speaker. Someone listening the words very attentively and carefully, and they have a deep deep interest in the words which are spoken by the speaker, and after that they can analyze very minutely to what he says. So this is a analytical way of the listening, in which you can also understand well what the speaker tries to convey at the point. So now the next is the empathetic listening. It is listening intently and intensively to understand the person fully, both emotionally as well as intellectually. Its best expression can also be found in the speeches of our political leader like Imran Khan and other leaders before the election. What kind of the golden dreams they show to the innocent people, and their passions were on the top, because now the audience and the procession raising the slogans in the favors of the leader, because this is the empathetic listening, because it affects immediately and show immediate effect, and also it creates not a long impression but timely. After some time this listening become an effect. So now the number 5 is listening for mutual creativity. It is a kind of the listening in which the communicators stimulate each other's response. So it means in this activity 2 person and more than 2 person are participate. If someone is also speaking something, on the second one is also ready to understand this and immediately response of his communication. So we can say that this is a mutual conversation which is commonly senders as well as receiver listens at their turn. So this is the very effective communication source of the listening. So now it is the response of the other person while the someone is also speaking or addressing to the someone. Number 6, intuitive listening. It means listening through intuitive mind by silencing the other's dialogue going at the same time, because he wants to listen all the words by the speaker attentively, and also after listening these words he analyzed in the mind and made a discussion very deeply and intuitively to understand the real message what he convey at the point. So in a way lot of the forms of the listenings also directly or indirectly relevant to the someone. So now the last point is the barriers of the listening. What kind of the difficulties, what kind of the problems can also put forth while you are listening. So we can say listening is an important as the other skills, speaking, reading and writing. Good listening skills can be hampered because of some elements. Number 1 is prejudice. Prejudice means tasub. We hamper our power of listening because of our own prejudice against the speaker. We do not concentrate as to what is being told. We always concentrate on who is talking. In other words, or in order to develop a good listening skill, we must only pay attention to the words. Due to the grudge and due to the prejudice against the speaker, we are not listening accurately from the core of the heart, just only apparently. We are also present in the procession physically but absent mentally. So now the second barrier of the listening is the external distraction. External distraction also plays an important role in misunderstanding the real world of the speaker. There are so many external distractions such as noisy fans, poor lights, music from outside, and also some kind of devices which can also interrupt the listening. For example, we are also listening attentively, and now the a very loud shriek and also very loud noise of a aeroplane which is also passing over the head can also interrupt your attention of the listening. So external element can also distract of your listening, and also it may the reason of the creating the confusion about the which are spoken at that time. So number 3 is pre-thinking. Pre-thinking, normally 80 to 160 words are spoken in a minute. Usually some people have the capacity to think at the rate of the 800s per minute. So this is the main reason that pre-thinking is the major element among the faults of listening. The listeners should not jump at the conclusions, as it mars the beauty of good listening, because someone also thinking before the time and have a different kind of the visions and also thoughts in his mind. In other words, we can say that now the mind-made analysis also become a very important very important hurdle, problem, and the barrier of the listening. So now number 4 is semantic barriers. Semantic barriers is created because of the negative meaning which is listener willingly attached to the word of the speaker. So this can be avoided if we analyze the speech impartially and patiently, because every person has different mind approach. Someone also thinking it positively and someone is also thinking it negatively, because every person has different mind. Someone also can take it as a pessimistically and always in the search of the negative thinking, negative visions in the words due to the prejudice and due to the grudge against the speaker. And someone is also having a positive mind, positive thinking about the speaker, and he may search a positivity even the words are spoken in a negative mood. So these are the important barriers which can also become the hurdle and barrier of the effective listening. So these are the barriers of the listening, and now the types of the listening and what is listening. So these are the 3 important part of today's lecture, and you must understand it clearly and accurately. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.